LEGO would never make a military set like this, but if so, I will show you today how they would look. I've even added some cool accessories like trees, bushes, tank traps and much more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's continue with the video.
The first set we take a closer look at is the Blitz truck with a 2 cm Flak 36. The model is built using only authentic LEGO pieces as well as some brick arms elements, and of course all the insignias and license plates you can see are printed and not stickers. Minifigures are an important part of LEGO sets, so that's why I've decided to also include one in my set. It even comes in this custom printed velvet bag. Of course, all the minifigure parts are also original LEGO pieces with 360 degrees custom printing. This particular minifigure is supposed to be an officer of the Hermann Göring division, which was a German Luftwaffe division during World War II. It also comes with its Stahlhelm as well as a Luger gun and ammunition for the Flak 36. Here's the full set, and if you're wondering where to get it, let me tell you something. All the sets you will see in this video are from now on available at my online shop called bricksofvalor.de, also of course including this Opel Blitz. But be careful, they are already all low on stock, so if you want one you better have to be quick. But let's continue with the video. Now I will show you how to upgrade your model using only a few pieces, but first let me remove that Flak, and as you can see this is very easy. I need only 7 pieces to build a cool crate for more storage room in your Opel Blitz. I've started with a bracket, added this clip as well as a 1x4 tile to them, and then used these 1x2 modified plates, and the crate is already done. All we have to do now is adding this one to the Opel Blitz and open it for the ammunition. As you might remember, this set includes the grenades for the Flak, but even would fit more than just the 2. Of course the Flak still fits on the model. A final touch I love to add to all my vehicles are some jerry cans.
Okay, so we now have our Opel Blitz as well as of course the minifigure and all the cool accessories which you have seen in a closer video. And what we are going to build next is some foliage to have like a background for our set, because our set just couldn't consist out of this model. So let's grab some parts, and here's everything I will need for the trees. No, just kidding. I will also need these ones right here, and of course for the tree trunk some of these.
I recently just got all of these plant pieces in my LEGO store visit and just had to build a pine tree out of them, as I have seen this technique so many times in the internet and just wanted to build it by my own. And here's a step-by-step instruction how I made the trees. I stacked 4 of the fan elements onto the reddish brown 2x2 rounded brick and repeated the step 2 more times. I've then added this rounded 2x2 plate as well as this plant piece and just needed to build a stamp, which I've made out of these 4 pieces. And as you can see, this perfectly fits on there. I've then even built a third tree because I think this looks a bit better, and the set is finally done. My idea was to build something which is cool for display as well as having some play features, and I think this perfectly works for this one just as a LEGO set. And here's what I mean, you have a bunch of cool elements as well as minifigures perfectly for display and playing. But trust me, it's still getting better. This T-3485 seems to be your absolute favorite model at Bricks of Valor. This iconic tank was built thousands of times and has seen so much action during World War II and still after that war. The minifigures of this set are something special. They are wearing an Amoeba camouflage trouser, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. Beside that, the red star on the helmet is a detail which we couldn't miss out. Once the minifigure itself was done, I've added this ammunition clip to it, as well as of course the Moisener gun, which was the typical Soviet rifle during World War II. A gun which was even more popular was the Pepesha gun, and that's why I've decided to also include the second minifigure in this set, and of course also added a brick arms Pepesha. And here's how the minifigures look right next to the tank, but of course we still need some more accessories to build. At first I built a wooden ammunition crate out of 3 pieces. 2 of them are these clip pieces and 1 of them is this small bar piece. I've then placed it on the tank's fuel tank where it perfectly fits. I've even built a second one. A common way to stop tanks were tank traps. The task of these heavy steel constructions were to block roads so tanks couldn't drive through there. I've used a simple technique to make one by my own by using a 1x1 modified bricks with studs on all sides as well as 4 1x4 tiles. I've again wanted to add some foliage to the scene and therefore grabbed a bunch of leaf pieces and made some small and simple bushes. Now everything is prepared to build the second coolest scene of the video. I've added the 2 bushes, tank traps and of course the minifigures, and here is the final scene. I really like the color choice of this one, as I think the olive green just perfectly matches with the camouflage trousers of the Soviet soldiers. But let's continue with the star of the video, the SDKFC 251/22. This variant was armed with the mighty Pak 40 gun and was able to knock out any tank at the battlefield of World War II. This vehicle gotta be one of my favorites I've ever built. Of course, the minifigures are packed in the velvet bag, and again we have 2 of them. As I really like the color pattern of palm tree as well as Telo Mimetico, I've decided to also equip this vehicle with 2 more of the Hermann Göring Division minifigures. This means they perfectly match with the Opel Blitz, so if you want to have all of the minifigures you have to buy both bundles. The first minifigure of this set is a regular Kar-98 rifleman with again an ammunition stripe as well as of course his rifle. The second one is the typical MP40 gunner, also equipped with a brick arms helmet, custom printed head and of course its gun. Another cool feature of this set is the Pak 40 grenade as well as this MG belt, which perfectly works with the MG34 at the back of the vehicle. Here is how the minifigures looks next to the vehicle, but let me tell you something, you can even fit them inside. But first let's add this MG belt at the MG. It is some tedious work, but I really like how this belt is hanging on the MG. Now it's time for our minifigures. I've grabbed the grenade as well as the minifigure, gave it to him and then placed it right next at the Pak. You can even slide the grenade into the gun. For our second minifigure I've grabbed these official LEGO binoculars and gave it to him. You can even achieve a cool positioning by raising the minifigure's arm as well as turning the hand, remove the helmet real quick and then add it. Now the minifigure actually is looking through the binoculars and hunting for enemy tanks. And as already mentioned, both minifigures perfectly fit in there, even though the vehicle is built in 1/45 scale and perfectly matches the height of a minifigure. Next I want to build a typical German Tellermine 42, which was a mine used during World War II. I've therefore only needed 3 pieces, this 2x2 rounded plate with a stud on top, as well as a 1x1 rounded tile and this handle piece, which is only held by friction in there. But I think the LEGO build just perfectly matches that real thing. As mines are under the earth, we need a soldier who gets this job done. And here's a cool way to make your soldier look like he's digging a hole. All you need for that is a LEGO shovel as well as some 1x1 plates in the color of your choice. You can attach 1 loose plate on top of the shovel and also add some more right next to the mine. I've also built a second mine and added it right next to the vehicle, just like the Kar-98 rifle, the Pak grenade and the ammunition stripe. Let's continue with a Raracine time-lapse speed build sequence in this video. I want to build a small rock as I think this could go really well with the overall scene. I've therefore grabbed a bunch of slopes, plates, even a bracket piece and most importantly modified bricks to attach the slopes all to the sides of the rock. I've achieved that clean look by using a bunch of corner slopes and rounded up the design by using wedged plates, slopes as well as these quarter tiles. Barbed wire was commonly seen during World War II as it easily helped to slow down infantry. I've grabbed LEGO chains, turned them several times and then added them to these smaller pillars as well as to the rock. Finally I've grabbed the pine trees from the first build and I gotta say this definitely is my most favorite scene. There's a lot to see and so much potential for playability, which I think is just great for a LEGO set. Don't forget to like and subscribe, check my shop if you want to build such cool scenes by yourself, and thanks for watching. See you next time, bye bye.